I'm about to introduce you to the very definition of misery. A place with no roads, just a treacherous mountain path through rainforest littered with the remains of the dead. A place that generates millions upon millions of dollars for the gangs who exploit the people who trek through here, and who often die along the way. This is the Darien Gap. Hundreds of thousands of people enter the Darien Gap every year. It's one of the most dangerous routes to a better life, and it will cost them. This sliver of land between North and South America that the rich world would rather didn't exist, but where people smugglers make a lot of money. The Darien Gap straddles the border between Panama and Colombia. It's a bottleneck. Literally the only way for some of the world's poorest people, and they do come from all around the world, to reach their goal. And that goal is, you guessed it, the US of A. In 2023, a record 520,000 people made the journey north, more than double the number from the previous year. This year, that number is expected to basically double again to 1 million, driven in part by people desperate to leave Venezuela and its devastated economy. And each of them has a list of things they will absolutely have to buy if they're gonna make it through alive. It's so isolated, most people get there by boat, through the Gulf of Araba. That'll set you back $40. Before you've barely taken a step, a drug trafficking gang called the Gitanist Self-Defense Forces, otherwise known as the Gulf Clan, takes its cut, $80. The Colombian president, Gustavo Petro, says the Gulf Clan alone earns $30 million a year from the migration business. There are also legitimate services, like those offered by a registered non-profit called New Light Darien Foundation. A guide will cost $170, a porter $100. Food comes in at $10 a meal. There are special all-inclusive packages, which include tents and boots, that cost upwards of $500. Multiply that by 520,000 and the numbers are staggering. And this is even before the migrants have left Colombia. Once they get to Panama, the risks and costs shoot up. That's because in Colombia, the drug smugglers protect the migrants. It's good for business. But in Panama, they're far more likely to be robbed or worse. In 2022, 141 people died trying to traverse the Darien Gap. Those are only the documented deaths. The actual number, it's feared, is much higher. And of course, to get to the US, these desperate people have another dangerous trip to make through Mexico. There, they'll find more threats from the drug cartels. In some cases, buses are stopped and migrants ordered to pay cash, $90 each time. If they go by train, it's no better. Gangs board at stations along the way, charging migrants $100 at each station. According to local reports, kidnappers demand $2,500 from each migrant they take. Double that from pregnant women. Even the police have been accused of extortion. By this stage, migrants desperately try to hold on to whatever is left of their savings to pay the so-called coyotes, Mexican people smugglers, to get them into the United States. Bodies of migrants have been found, presumed murdered, because they tried to cross the border without pain. Nearly 700 migrants died or disappeared trying to cross the US-Mexico border in 2022, making it one of the deadliest land routes for migrants worldwide. Over the last 10 years, human smuggling has been transformed into a multi-billion-dollar international business controlled by organized crime. A US House committee report estimates the Mexican cartels made $13 billion in 2021 alone just from people smuggling. There's money to be made out of human misery. Always has, always will be.